Put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real wealth is being real itself. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up. Put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real wealth is being real itself. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help.
Like Kanye West said, having money is not everything. Not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's wrong. You know why money so much? Why you get up to go to work? What everybody do think about one of the things that one thing I'm just trying to leave a legacy for mine. Not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. Now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, H Cortez.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, all, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning live with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my very best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working class men and women all over this great nation of ours. If you are tracking us on Facebook Live, then definitely share this with on your wall and let your friends know. We're talking about how to eliminate poverty forever this morning. If you are checking us out on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We do this show Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm just doing my best to help raise the financial IQ of my community one day at a time, and bringing practical, proven wealth building information to you. If you're checking us out on Facebook, make sure that you like the page Financial Health Mentor, where I'm streaming live on that page. And I also provide tons and tons of quality content for free, strategies on how to get your finances in order. So again, share this with on your wall if you're checking us out on Facebook Live. Subscribe to the channel if you're checking us out on YouTube. And as always, I am H Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. I'm an author, wealth strategist, entrepreneur, husband, father, youth basketball coach, and a bunch of other hats that I wear. But I am extremely privileged and pleased to understand what it takes to build wealth in this country. And I like to say it like this: the secret to building wealth is no longer secret, because they let this big mouth dude get a hold of those secrets. And I'm telling everybody, all you guys have to do is tune in and apply the strategies. Now, as I do every morning, I like to let you know exactly who this show is for. This show is for my risers and grinders this morning. If you woke up this morning with legacy on your brain, this show is for you. If you went to bed last night visualizing what you're going to do and where you're going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, this show is for you. If you are the type of person that understands what it means to leave a mark in this world versus leaving a stain, this show is for you. If you have the desire to be wealthy, you have the discipline to be wealthy, but maybe you just don't have the game plan or the strategies or the tools, this show is for you, because that's exactly what we provide here. Now, I also have to let you know who this show is not for. If you have a problem with money, if you're one of those people who have that weird relationship and think money is evil, wealthy folks are snobs and all of that kind of stuff, this show is not for you. If you have a problem with me just mentioning the word money 30 times in the last 15 seconds, this show is not for you, because I can promise you I'm probably going to say it another 300 times in the next 26 minutes or so. If you are sitting back waiting to see who's going to be elected president, Hillary or Trump, so they can fix the economy versus fixing your economy, this show is not for you. Now, let me be perfectly clear. I do not have a problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. I only have a problem with you if you have a problem with me wanting to be wealthy, right? So to each his own. If you don't want wealth, you don't want to leave a legacy for your family, that's fine. But don't judge me because I'm a future billionaire, because that's something that I do want to achieve for my family. So that's who the show is for. That's who the show is not for. Today, we're going to, we don't have a sponsor for today's show, so I will be the sponsor. Today's sponsor is Financial Health Mentor. If you want your own financial education franchise, go to financialhealthmentor.com. You will be working closely with me. I will teach you how to set up a financial education business where you can get paid for teaching wealth building strategies. And of course, you will apply those strategies in your own life. So again, if you are serious and you want your own financial education franchise, go to financialhealthmentor.com, put in your best email address, and I will send you some information on how our income shifting program works and how you can use that program to start generating extra income. So with that out of the way, I'm going to take a quick swig of water, and then we're going to get right into how to eliminate poverty forever. Guys, building wealth is incredibly simple. All right. Now, let's not be confused, though. We don't ever confuse simple with easy. It does take work, but the strategies, the steps, the tools, that stuff is incredibly simple. What is difficult is overcoming 12, 15, 20, 30 years of social programming that makes you believe that it's not worth the trouble to build wealth, right? So when we go to school, we're conditioned to get a job and to work for someone else and to just live an average or below average lifestyle and be satisfied with that, because we're made to believe that building wealth is more difficult than it actually is. So we're going to talk about how to eliminate poverty in a 4-step framework. I'm going to give you 4 critical steps, and you're going to have to be able to incorporate all 4 of these things if you are to ever eliminate poverty long term. Step number 1, because 95% of Americans make 100% of their income via a job or a W-2 source, you have to understand how to get your taxes under control, right? The way the system is set up that we operate in, this economy here in America, is that those who work a job are taxed the most. Businesses are taxed a little bit less, and investors are taxed least of all. So if you understand anything, a way the system is set up, then you know that if you're making 100% of your income from a W-2 source only, then the first step to eliminating poverty is getting your taxes under control. You have to find a way to minimize your taxes. Now, in our income shifting program, we teach 3 fundamental strategies for minimizing your taxes. Number 1, you have to revisit your W-4 form. If you don't understand what that is or how to do that, then send me a message or type in the live stream and I can help you with that. But 8 out of 10 people who work a job every day, and that's their only source of income, have their W-4 form filled out incorrectly. And that's their tax withholding certificate that lets your employer know how much money to withhold from your paycheck each pay period for taxes. Now, I just said that if you make 100% of your income from a W-2 source only, by the system design, you are automatically taxed the most. Then you add to that, you got your W-4 form filled out incorrectly. Now you're overpaying taxes. That's why most working class people struggle. That's why 3 out of 4 working class people are living paycheck to paycheck, is because not only are they taxed the most because of the tax bracket that they're operating in, but there tend to be a large percentage of them that are overpaying taxes. So if you want to understand how to get your W-4 form filled out correctly, then type in the chat, leave me a message if you're watching this live, go over to Financial Health Mentor fan page on Facebook, leave me a message, or leave me a message here if you're checking us out live on YouTube. But you have to get that corrected, because most people are overpaying $200 to $400 a month to Uncle Sam, and they struggle all year long, and then they wait on that tax refund check at the end of the year. To me, that's silly to struggle all year long and wait on that tax refund check. And then, because what do? Because we have struggled all year long, 8 times out of 10, you're going to take that refund check and you're going to blow it. Right? Because you feel like you've been working all year for nothing and you got nothing to show for it. So as soon as you get abundance of money, then you tend to blow most of it. Come on, let's be honest. Let's keep it real. That's exactly what we do. So instead of struggling all year long waiting for that tax refund, why don't you get your W-4 form corrected so that you don't overpay in taxes? That way you don't have to get this large lump sum at the end of the year. You can get that $200 to $400 back into your household each and every month. And that way that can help eliminate some of the struggles that you're going through, because most of us, when we're living paycheck to paycheck, another $200 in the household will free up some of that stress. So that's one way to minimize your taxes. The other way to minimize your taxes is through your investments. When you are putting money into that 401k plan, that is reducing your taxable income, right? So if you have a job where they are matching your contributions on your in your 401k plan, then you want to max that out, because they're giving you money, but also anything that you contribute into a pre-tax investment is going to reduce your taxable income. And that's critical, because you can put $5,000 in and $10,000 into your retirement plan, and that can literally bring your taxable income. So if you make $50,000 a year, you can put that $5,000 or $10,000 into your retirement accounts. Now, instead of being taxed on $50,000 a year, you're taxed on $40,000 a year. And we're talking about being taxed 28 to 33%. So I would much rather pay 28 to 33% on $40,000 than I would to pay that on $50,000. And that's the difference. The other way that you minimize your taxes, and if you're a friend of the show, you had to know this was coming, you have to start a home-based business, because a home-based business will allow you to literally minimize your taxes by taking advantage of the tax deductions that all business owners get. Right? When Microsoft wants to buy new equipment to better facilitate its business functions, that new equipment is tax deductible. When Microsoft gives its employees a Christmas bonus at the end of the year, that Christmas bonus is tax deductible. When Bill Gates hops in his private jet and goes to another country to do a seminar or to promote his Microsoft brand, the cost of that trip is tax deductible. Well, you as an individual can do the exact same thing in a home-based business, right? So if you don't have a home-based business, consider what you can, what your gifts and talents, and do a talent survey and figure out what it is that you can do on your own, because that will allow you to literally reduce your taxes even further. So step number one in eliminating poverty permanently or forever is you got to get control of your taxes. You do that three ways: by making sure your W-4 form is filled out correctly, by making sure that you're maxing out on any investment opportunities that you have, and then three, by creating a home-based business and taking advantage of all of the home-based business tax deductions that are available to you. You're literally leaving money on the table if you don't have a home-based business. All right. Step number two into eliminating poverty forever is you have to eliminate your debt, especially your consumer debt. We're talking about the credit card debt, student loan debts, furniture debts. If you're going to those renter centers and renter-owned furniture places, you got to get rid of that stuff, because anytime you have debt, debt is actually the enemy of your wealth. So if you're not willing to attack your debt with a vengeance, then be prepared for a life of struggle, right? You have to get rid of that debt, because every dollar that you're using to pay interest on a debt is a dollar that you're not using to earn interest on as an investment. And you think about it like this: look at stack up all of your debts from the highest balance to the lowest balance. Stack them all up, and you take the one with the lowest balance and you attack that one first, and you make it disappear. Say, for instance, you got a small furniture a loan that you're paying $50 a month on. Well, guess what? If you take all of your extra resources and you throw them at that $50 a month, that's going to disappear quickly. Now you have an extra $50 a month to throw at the next debt, and you keep doing that until all of your debt is gone. It's extremely difficult to build wealth in anywhere, but especially in America, when you're drowning in debt and you're overpaying your taxes. So if you're just joining us, I'm H Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. You're checking out Talking Money in the Morning live, and we're talking about how to overcome poverty. We're talking about a 4-step formula that will allow anybody to overcome poverty. Step number one was minimize your taxes. Step number two is eliminate debt. So when you minimize your taxes, especially with the W-4 form, if you're overpaying, most working class people just need a small influx of cash to help them apply or put towards that debt. Most people can do that when they adjust their W-4 form correctly. So you simply make that adjustment. If you need help with that, I do a free 30-minute consultation, and it could be on the W-4 form. It could be on setting up a home-based business, how to take advantage of deductions. I don't care what we talk about. The first 30 minutes is free, and then beyond that, I have to hit you with my fee schedule. All right, all right. But minimizing or eliminating, minimizing your taxes can bring money back into your household, and you take that money and you start eliminating your debt with it. You don't take that extra $200 to $400 that you're going to get from adjusting your W-4 form and go buy a new bag, ladies, or go put rims on your car, fellas. You take that money and you start systematically eliminating your debt. All right. Once the debt is gone, then you get into strategy number 3. Strategy number 3, you have to start accumulating income producing assets. Guys, this is the most critical step. Here's the philosophy that most wealth people employ in order to gain wealth, maintain wealth, and also protect their wealth so they can pass it down to the next generation. They use a formula called cash, asset, cash. We know that we live in a fiat currency system, and we know that the value of cash is always going down. So every time you get your hands on some cash, you should be buying, building, or investing in some sort of income producing asset. And then when you do that, that income producing asset is going to bring you back more cash, and you just continue to repeat that process over and over and over and over again. So guys, understand this. Step number 1, you got to get control of your taxes. So minimize your taxes. Step number 2, you have to eliminate your debt, especially your revolving consumer debt. That's the credit card debt. Why is that important? Because if you only pay the minimum balance on your credit card, that debt will continue to compound, and it will continue to snowball out of control. So you want to get rid of that. And then you have to understand how to buy income producing assets. And you may be saying, what kind of income producing assets? It could be playing the stock market, bond funds, stocks, things of that nature. Start investing on something that's going to appreciate. You could learn how to buy gold. You can partner with me. I have a situation where you can buy gold and by the gram, right? That's transferring a fiat currency that's going to lose value over time into a real currency that's going to appreciate in value over time. So if you're interested in buying gold, let me know. I can share with you the information that you need to start buying gold a gram at a time, 5 grams at a time. Doesn't cost much, but you can get into a process where you're systematically using a portion of your paycheck every pay period and buy you a gram of gold, about 60, 70 bucks. It's not difficult, but if you're doing that every time you get paid, over time, you're going to accumulate a lot of wealth in gold, and that is real money. You may think about real estate. A lot of times, if you haven't already bought your first home, I want you to consider this. Instead of using that debt to buy a home that you're going to live in, why not use that debt to buy a multifamily apartment unit? Maybe a 2-family, a duplex, maybe a 4-family. You live in one of the units, rent the other units out. Those tenants pay the mortgage back for you. Now you're living rent free. What is it like to live without a $1,000 note every month? You got $1,000 extra that you can use to eliminate your debt. You got $1,000 extra that you can be putting into some sort of investment so that it starts to grow and accumulate for you. So that's an option. I wish I'd have thought that way before I bought my first home, because I would have definitely bought an apartment versus a regular home. I got a couple $100,000 mortgage anyway. So why not use that debt to create an asset that's going to build and create income for you? So that's just a thought. But you want to get to a habit of every time you get your hands on some cash, you buy, build, and invest in an asset that's going to bring you back more cash. And guys, don't forget this one. The number 1 asset that you have to invest in is yourself. So be sure that every morning, every pay period, you're going to buy a book on something that's going to take you further, whether it's in a book on investment, whether it's a book on real estate, whether it's a book on mindset, overcoming fear, doubt, whatever it is that you need to do. You should be using your income to invest in yourself as well as other income producing assets. And then finally, strategy number 4, we have to teach others. right? That's the reason I do this show, guys, is to teach others the importance of building wealth, the strategies that it takes to build wealth so that we can overcome poverty once and for all. A lot of times, what wealthy people do is they tend to get a hold of some knowledge and they keep it close to the vest, right? They guard it tight and they only share that with their immediate family. Now, I don't know, maybe it was something that caused them to do that, because I share this information all the time, and sometimes it feels like people are not receiving this information. And when you start to feel that way, sometimes you might just say, oh, forget it. I'm going to stop teaching. I'm just going to share it with my family and teach my kids how to use these strategies. And then I'm just going to go for mine and leave everybody else to get theirs, right? So hopefully you guys are tracking and you're receiving this information and you're applying this information. If you are, then go ahead and leave me a message so that I know that I'm resonating with someone, because when you get to a place where you feel like what you're doing is not effective, it's a question of time. Or do I continue to waste my time if I'm not reaching anyone? Or do I keep pressing forward if I have at least 1 or 2 people that are following and that are at least getting value out of what it is that we're teaching? So I definitely want you to leave me a message and let me know that you're receiving this information, and I'll keep putting it out there. But we have to teach. Now, when I'm talking about teaching, obviously it starts with your immediate. Maybe it's just you and your spouse. So you and your spouse should have a session every week where you're talking about building wealth, what kind of legacy you want to leave. What do you want to be financially before you bring children into the world? Maybe you already have children, as I do. I'm the father of 5 sons, right? So I'm constantly teaching them these strategies because I don't want them to go out into the world and accumulate a bunch of debt and buy a bunch of trash when they can live debt free and use that money to buy assets. So we're talking about eliminating poverty permanently. Forever. There's a handful of strategies that you have to do in order to get that accomplished. Number one, you have to get control of your taxes. If you are like 95% of Americans, you're making 100% of your income through a W-2 source or a job. In America, how you earn your money determines how you are taxed. So if you're making 100% of your income through a job, then you are taxed the most. If you're making 100% of your income through a business, you're taxed a little bit less, because the net effect of businesses, when they take out all of those deductions and things, is roughly 18 to 23% in taxes. Now, far different from working a job where you're taxed 28 to 33%. But you want to get into the investment game because investors are taxed the least. Their taxes are capped at 15%. So if you have, if you're an investor, you're going to pay 15% or less in taxes. You couple being an investor with a business, and you can even reduce that 15% to next to nothing. Why do you think Mitt Romney didn't want to disclose his tax information? Not because he got over on the system, but because he applied the laws of the system correctly, and he paid virtually no taxes. They didn't want the American public to know that that is possible, that you can make millions of dollars in this country and pay literally close to zero in taxes. That's not something that they want to share with the general public. And that's why I bring that information to you each and every morning, Monday through Friday, on the Talking Money in the Morning live show at 7 o'clock a.m. Because I want you to understand that that you can do that, right? But you have to understand how the game is played. So step number one, minimize your taxes. Adjust your W-4 form so that it's done correctly. If you need help with that, again, I do a free 30-minute consultation. All you have to do is plug into me, go to Financial Health Mentor on Facebook, send me a message, or put a message in the comment below this YouTube video, or if you're streaming live, then put a message in the live stream so that I know that you want that 30-minute consultation, and we'll talk about how to properly adjust that W-4 form. Also, increasing your investments. Whatever you're investing into the 401k to a certain amount is pre-tax, so you can actually reduce your taxable income by contributing to your investments. All right, and then make sure you have a home-based business of some sort. I don't care what it is that you do. We've all been blessed with gifts, talents, and abilities. Take one of them, turn it into a home-based business. Now you start getting a tax deduction every time you drive your vehicle and you tell somebody about your business. You start getting a tax deduction for using your cell phone for business. Now, a part of that cell phone bill that you're going to pay month in, month out is tax deductible. right? Use your internet service to not just play on Facebook all day, but set up a Facebook fan page. So now when you're on Facebook, part of that internet bill is tax deductible. All right. You got going on family vacations. You go to family functions. I don't go to family functions anymore. I go to networking events where my family just happens to be. And I pass out my business cards. I talk about business so that the miles that I drive there are tax deductible. You got to get control of your taxes in America if you're going to build wealth. You cannot build wealth if you're overtaxed. Then you have to eliminate debt. If you're drowning in debt and overtaxed, when it comes to eliminating poverty, you can flat out forget about it. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen for you. You have to get control of your taxes, bring that money back. Most people who partner with us can save anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 a year on taxes. What do they do with that? Well, first, we recommend that you eliminate your debt. If it's $12,000, then maybe you take $10,000 and you get rid of your debt. And then you take the other $2,000 and you start investing, buying some sort of income-producing assets. That's strategy number 3. So the first 3 strategies: minimize your taxes, get control of that stuff. If you're making 100% of your income on with labor, then you have to understand how to get control of your taxes by adjusting your W-4, increasing your investment contribution, and starting a home-based business. Eliminate your debt. Take any tax savings that you get and start throwing it towards your debt. Every time you eliminate a debt, it's like giving yourself a pay raise. So you have to stay consistent with doing that. And then once the debt is gone, you start focusing on buying income-producing assets. Guess what? The first income-producing asset that you have is yourself, is your mind. So while you're minimizing taxes and eliminating debt, maybe you buy a book on real estate because maybe that's what you're interested in buying once you eliminate your debt. Maybe you buy a book on the stock market. That's what you're interested in. Maybe you buy a book on network marketing because you're thinking about joining a network marketing company. But start feeding your brain, shifting your mindset, so as you continue to work through these strategies, you will be prepared to start acquiring your income producing assets. And then finally, strategy number 4. We've got to start teaching this stuff to our children. We got to start teaching this stuff to our immediate family. We got to start teaching this stuff to our neighbors. Now, I like to say it like the good book says, for those who have ears, let them hear. What does that mean? It also talks about casting your pearls among swine. Guys, there will be a lot of people that will not receive this information. Sometimes they won't receive it because it's coming from you. And they don't respect you as someone who is astute financially, and that's okay. Sometimes they just won't receive it because they just won't receive it from anybody, and that's okay. You find those who are willing to listen, who are looking for this information, who have a desire to change their financial situation, who have a desire to eliminate poverty in their lives, and that's who we teach. And we're going to eventually continue to find people who are serious about making this shift in their lives financially, and we're only going to continue to teach, and this information is going to be live. It's going to be on YouTube forever. And guess what? The people who are looking for it are going to find it, and they're going to apply this 4-step system to eliminating poverty in their lives. And I can only hope that they will pay it forward and teach someone else this exact same formula and keep doing it over and over and over and over, guys. I told you at the beginning of the show that building wealth is incredibly simple, but I don't want you to confuse simple with easy. The most difficult thing that we're going to have to do is recondition our mindset to understand that building wealth is something that, number 1, we can do, and number 2, something that we should do. Because while a lot of people have a weird relationship with money, I want you to understand that money is just a resource. And just like any resource, we all want these resources in abundance. If you went over to your sink and you couldn't turn on a water faucet and have water pouring out of that thing in abundance, how would you feel? Right? You would feel the same way that you feel when it comes to your money. You would feel stressed out. You would feel overwhelmed because now you would have to be constantly searching for that resource because it's a necessity. Well, money is a resource. And any resource, we want to have that resource in abundance so we don't have to stress over that thing. So guys, we are at the bottom of the show. It is just about 7:30. These 30 minutes go quick. maybe we'll do a part 2 to this thing, and we'll dive deeper into how to eliminate poverty. But I certainly appreciate you guys for trekking with me. Today's show is brought to you by Financial Health Mentor. I didn't have a sponsor for today, so I'll sponsor the show myself, right? If you want to know how to create a financial education franchise where you can make $25,000 to $50,000 in the next 6 to 12 months part-time, teaching wealth building principles and strategies, just like we talked about today, then I want you to go to financialhealthmentor.com, put in your best email address, and I'm going to shoot you an email onto our income shifting strategies so that you can understand how we do the strategies we teach, and you'll see if it's a good fit for you. And if it is, then all I want you to do is reply to that email to say, hey, let's have a phone conversation, or give me a call. My phone number will be at the bottom of that email as well. I don't have a problem putting my phone number out there. You can reach me at 314-874-6887, but only if you're serious. I don't have time to play around. My time is my most valuable and precious asset. So as long as you're serious, I'm willing to talk. If you want that 30-minute consultation on how to adjust your W-4 form, or how to start your home-based business, or anything of that nature, feel free to give me a call, reach out to me. Again, financialhealthmentor.com is where you go and put in your best email address, and you will get a series of emails teaching, telling you exactly what it is that we do and how we do it. So guys, that is the conclusion of the show. I will talk to you guys on Monday morning, trying to get some nice, really good guests lined up for you for next week. And so until I talk to you in next week's show, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. We're out. Peace.